First of all, let me thank Chair. You wouldn't know how I came to be standing here. In 2015, I met him at Victoria Falls. And after my presentation, he walked up to me and we had a chat, and he spoke about the first summit. That was the first summit that you held 3 years ago. And he was planning to invite me on a panel. We weren't able to make it. And this year again, he fought hard for me to come, and I'm glad that even after missing my flight day before yesterday, he still walked on tickets and enabled me to be here today. So please, can we put a round of applause for Cher? And his team, of course. I know he's working with a very effective and capable team. Now, the topic it asked me to speak on today is titled Education to Citizenship. Who organizes public debate? How can it be cleansed? How can we make it pertinent? I won't be long, I assure you. As I'm writing this keynote, a reportage on Senegalese students protesting against their government is featured as a headline on Euronews. Hungry citizens of Senegal, students of the University of St. Louis in northern Senegal, in mid-May, bumped into the university cafeteria, refusing to pay for food that was served them due to non-payment of their bursaries. Panicky, the university rector called on the gendarmerie to secure the arena. But confronted by the students, the gendarmerie shot bullets at them, killing one of them. The death ignited a wave of protests across Senegal. The students calling for the resignation of the ministers of education, finance, and interior. Universities that would have become seedbeds of education to citizenship, I witnessed it, I assure you, became seedbeds of protests. Similar scenes of political unrest is not rare in Africa. We just listened to our colleagues from Chad and Togo, but you can also add Zuma with the Zuma Must Go protest in South Africa. You can as well mention Paul Biya's English-speaking Cameroon, where internet is also circumscribed. But you can as well add Yoweri Museveni's Uganda and Robert Mugabe's Zimbabwe. Now, I do mention him because it will take several years and even decades to overturn the legacy set by this man. In this keynote, I would like to speak about education to citizenship, how pertinent public debate is to this education, and how we can cleanse it. First of all, who organizes debate in Africa? I outline 3 organizers of debate: the ruling party and their faction and supporters and praise singers, but also the media as second organizer, and in the developed world as 4th power. And finally, the citizens, changing from passive to active. In other words, that's where all of us come in, and I will tell you how to do it so as to not only improve on the work that we're already doing, but also to prepare for future generations. I would like to focus on citizens as new organizers of public debate. The citizens themselves have moved from being passive to active. Look at what is happening on the scene. With the advent of the Arab Spring that used virtual platforms to overturn powers that had stayed for over 3 decades, youth-led movements were able to become, if you like, in the very first years, an account of interest groups that the civil society had come to emulate as a model of public debate. The expansion of popular culture, the internet, in particular Web 2.0, had become a new form of organizing platforms that previously never existed. You can add to that the struggles of our colleagues who risk imprisonment, who risk exile, who sleep on the floor, who are pushed out of their countries, and who sometimes go hungry just because they want to build a peaceful, secure, and stable institutions. But the invitation is for us to move from interventionist, in other words, waiting until it goes wrong to intervene, to becoming leaders and organizers of assured and secure debates. So what do we need to do? First of all, I think we need to diversify our topics. We're all overly focused on politics, political powers, political institutions. But pray, Africa has other problems. We've got agriculture, we've got poverty, we've got demographics, we've got lack of educational facilities. We have a whole lot of problems to deal with. What about industrialization? Who's going to build our country? Are we not lied to you? When I arrived in Burkina Faso, I was disappointed. And I asked myself, is this the country that Blaise Compaoré ruled for 37 years? Where are the infrastructure? I felt that I was traveling in a Nigerian village. Therefore, we need to make innovation, especially internet and innovative apps, a new means of reaching out to the public. To become pertinent, I need to mention, we need to bridge the gap between ideas, in other words, discussants of our generation and the older generation, because we can't be the only person talking. And if you talk too much, they might even ask you, but why are you the person speaking? But we have to make sure that there is no room for propaganda. Colleagues, I invite you to ensure that in your activism, you are backed up properly by evidence. If your activism is evidence-based, you will gain respect. But if your tone is overly strong and cruel, and if you are just advancing views and opinion, you may get yourself into serious trouble. To conclude, I have stressed that our education to citizenship requires public debate of citizens who are critically aware. In other words, we should no longer allow the powers that be to be the only conveners, or the media that are often properly and improperly organized to be respondents to the powers that be, or citizens who are often not well educated. We should consider ourselves to be among the privileged few in Africa. Therefore, it is our role, using the digital platform, to become the new organizers of public debate. We can hold this forum. I challenge Chair, maybe the 5th summit shouldn't require people traveling. Hold it online. Let's have an online virtual summit where all of us could participate at the same time, sharing views, listening to conferences, holding panels as a means of this new platform that we intend to form in Africa. I assure you, the World Bank, the United Nations, and other strong organizations will be ready to sponsor it. Thank you for your attention.